Welcome to GoalGraph. Let's follow the first half of Bundesliga 22-23 season. Eintracht Frankfurt was swept aside 1-6 by Bayern Munich, as Kimmich, Pavard, Mane, Musiala and Gnabry raced into a 5-0 lead. Kolo Muani pulled one back for the hosts before Musiala wrapped up the 1-6 win. Wolfsburg drew 2-2 with Werder Bremen, as Füllkrug and Bittencourt overturned in Mecca's early strike before Guilavogui rescued a late point for the Wolves. Borussia Gladbach beat Hoffenheim 3-1, as Bensebaini levelled Skov's opener before Thuram and Elvedi put Gladbach back in front and sealed the win. Augsburg were dismantled 0-4 by Freiburg, with Gregoritsch, Grifo, Ginter and Doan all striking in a dominant second-half display. Bochum lost 1-2 to Min, Onisivo opened the scoring, Steuger levelled, but Onisivo struck again in the second half to restore Min's lead. Union Berlin claimed a 3-1 derby win over Hertha Berlin through Siebertju, Becker and Knocker, with Luque Bacchio replying in the 85th minute. Borussia Dortmund edged Bayer Leverkusen 1-0 thanks to an early winner from Wahr. Stuttgart drew 1-1 with RB Leipzig. Nkunku's 8th-minute opener was cancelled out by Ackermander later in the half. Köln defeated Schalke 3-1, Kylian and Keynes put him ahead, Bielter pulled one back before Ljubicic restored the two-goal cushion. Freiburg fell 1-3 to Borussia Dortmund, as Gregorich's early strike was overturned by Bino Gittens, Moukoko and Wolf's late finish. Hertha Berlin drew 1-1 with Eintracht Frankfurt, Serdar's early opener being cancelled out by Kamada's second-half equaliser. Werder Bremen and Stuttgart finished 2-2, Füllkrug's early goal was pegged back by Endo. Kartomper M. Wumper put the visitors ahead before Bork rescued a stoppage time point. Hoffenheim edged Bochum 3-2, overturning Zoller's early double as Baumgartner and Kabak levelled before Dabor's 88th-minute winner. Bayer Leverkusen lost 1-2 to Augsburg, Jensen's opener was cancelled out by Aranguiz before Hahn struck an 82nd-minute winner. RB Leipzig and Köln finished 2-2, Werner's opener was answered by Dietz, Nkunku restored the lead only for a Gvardiol own goal to level it again. Schalke and Borussia Gladbach shared a 2-2 draw, Zalazar opened, Hoffmann levelled and Thuram put Gladbach ahead before Bielter rescued a stoppage time penalty equaliser. Min and Union Berlin played out a 0-0 scoreless draw. Bayern Munich beat Wolfsburg 2-0, Musiala and Maiola securing the win in the first half. Borussia Gladbach edged Hertha Berlin 1-0, as Plea's 34th-minute penalty proved the difference. Wolfsburg and Schalke played out a 0-0 stalemate. Borussia Dortmund saw a 2-0 lead through Brandt and Guerrero overturned late, as Buchanan struck in the 89th, Schmidt levelled at 90, then Bork sealed a 3-2 Bremen comeback. Bayer Leverkusen was swept aside 0-3 by Hoffenheim, with Baumgartner, Kramaric and Ruter scoring to seal the win. Augsburg fell 1-2 to Min, as Onisivo opened the scoring, Demirovic levelled shortly after, and Jae-song struck in stoppage time to clinch it. Stuttgart were beaten 0-1 by Freiburg, courtesy of an early Grifo strike in the 11th minute. Union Berlin claimed a 2-1 victory over RB Leipzig, as Siebertju and Becker struck in the first half before Orban's late reply. Eintracht Frankfurt drew 1-1 with Köln, after Kamada broke the deadlock and Thielmann hit a late equaliser. Bochum were dismantled 0-7 by Bayern Munich, with Sani, De Ligt and Coman adding early goals, Mane scoring twice including a penalty, before a Gamboa own goal and Gnabry completed the rout. Freiburg edged Bochum 1-0, with Grifo striking early in the second half to settle it. Hertha fell 1-0 to Borussia Dortmund, as Modest broke the deadlock just after the half-hour. Min was swept aside 3-0 by Bayer Leverkusen, with Palacios opening the scoring before Frimpong's quickfire first-half brace sealed the rout. Hoffenheim claimed a 1-0 win over Augsburg, decided by Geiger's finish just before the break. RB Leipzig earned a 2-0 victory against Wolfsburg, as Nkunku struck early from the spot and wrapped it up at the death. Schalke were overrun 1-6 by Union, as Thorsby opened early, Bulter's penalty briefly levelled it before Becker, Haber and Becker put Union back in front, with Mitchell adding two late strikes. Bayern Munich drew 1-1 with Borussia Gladbach, after Thuram's first-half opener was cancelled out by Sané's late strike. Köln and Stuttgart played out a 0-0 draw in a match without breakthrough. Beda fell 4-3 to Frankfurt, as Götze opened early before Jung and Bittencourt put Bremen ahead. Kolo Muani, Lindstrom and so then turned it around for Frankfurt, with Füllkrug's late penalty narrowing the gap. Borussia Dortmund edged Hoffenheim 1-0, with Royce grabbing the decisive strike in the 16th minute of the first half. Wolfsburg's early strike from Lucas in Mecha was not enough, as Lubicic, an Otavio own goal and a Kintz penalty put Köln 3-1 up before in Mecha pulled one back and Adamian sealed a 4-2 win. Bayer Leverkusen went 2 up through Demirbay and Schick, but Freiburg roared back as Ginter, Gregoritsch and Doan completed a 3-2 comeback. Stuttgart drew 1-1 with Schalke, after Fuerick struck first and Terodde hit back moments later. Bochum fell 0-2 to Beda, as Füllkrug struck twice late on, the second from the penalty spot, to seal the win. Union and Bayern Munich finished 1-1, with Becker's early strike quickly cancelled out by Kimmich 3 minutes later. Frankfurt demolished RB Leipzig 4-0, through Kamada, Roeder, Tuta and a late Borre penalty. Augsburg were beaten 0-2 by Hertha, with Lukebakio striking after the break and Richter adding a stoppage time second. Borussia Gladbach fell 1-0 to Min, as Aaron Martin struck in the 55th minute, 10 minutes after the restart. Beda fell 0-1 to Augsburg, as Demirovic's strike just past the hour proved the winner. Bayern Munich drew 2-2 with Stuttgart. Tell opened the scoring, Fuerick levelled, Musiala restored Bayern's lead, but a stoppage time penalty from Guirassy earned the visitors a point. Hertha and Bayer Leverkusen finished 2-2, as Demirbay put the visitors ahead, Serdar levelled, Richter then gave Hertha the lead, but Schick rescued a late point for Leverkusen. Hoffenheim routed Min 4-1, Kramaric and Promel put the hosts in control, Dabor made it 3, Kor pulled one back, and a late Kaderzabek strike sealed the rout. Frankfurt were beaten 0-1 by Wolfsburg, with Larquin netting the winner on the hour. RB Leipzig overpowered Borussia Dortmund 3-0, as Orban opened early, Sabozli doubled the lead before half-time, and Heiderer wrapped it up late on. Schalke defeated Bochum 3-1, Drexler's opener was cancelled out by Hoffmann, a Mashevich own goal put Schalke back in front, and Polter's late finish sealed the win. Köln fell 0-1 to Union, the contest settled by a Huber's own goal inside 3 minutes. Freiburg and Borussia Gladbach played out a 0-0 stalemate in a goalless affair. Freiburg and Hertha drew 1-1, as Tusa put Hertha ahead in the 30th minute before Cheki rescued a stoppage time leveller for Freiburg. Borussia Dortmund edged Schalke 1-0, Mukoko's 78th minute strike the difference. Bayer Leverkusen drew 1-1 with Bayern, Demirbay giving Leverkusen the lead before Veljakovic levelled late. Augsburg stunned Bayern Munich 1-0, Berisha's 59th minute finish deciding the tie. Stuttgart fell 1-3 to Eintracht Frankfurt, Rode and Kamada putting Eintracht in control, Thomas pulling one back before Jakic sealed it late. Borussia Gladbach overpowered RB Leipzig 3-0, a Hoffmann double in the first half before Bensebaini added the third after the break. Union Berlin secured a 2-0 win over Wolfsburg, Siebertju and Becker on target to settle it. Bochum and Köln shared a 1-1 draw, Schmidt's early own goal cancelled late by Miner's equaliser. Hoffenheim and Freiburg played out a 0-0 stalemate in a scoreless draw. Bayern Munich swept Bayer Leverkusen 4-0, as Sané opened the scoring before Musiala and Mani added first-half strikes and Müller wrapped it up late on. Freiburg edged Min 2-1, as Gregoritsch struck early and Kjær doubled the lead before Martin's second-half reply. Wolfsburg beat Stuttgart 3-2, as Guirassy opened the scoring before Marmoush levelled Immediatelli, Arnold put the Wolves ahead and Mavropanos drew Stuttgart level just before the break, with Gerhardt winning it in stoppage time. Eintracht Frankfurt saw off Union Berlin 2-0, Goetze and Lindstrom both scoring before the break. RB Leipzig overpowered Bochum 4-0, powered by Werner's double and an Nkunku brace, Nkunku's opener from the spot, with the fourth added later. Köln stunned Borussia Dortmund 3-2, as Brandt struck first before Kintz, Tiggs and Lubicic completed a stirring turnaround, a late Schmidt's own goal making it nervy. Bayern dismantled Borussia Gladbach 5-1, as Füllkrug's double, Dukes and a Bensebaini own goal fired a 4-0 first-half blitz. Thuram pulled one back before Weiser sealed the win. Hertha and Hoffenheim drew 1-1, with Kramaric opening the scoring and Lukebakio levelling before the break. Schalke fell 2-3 to Augsburg, as Demirovic's early double put Augsburg 2 up, Terodde and Kreuz hauled Schalke level before Hahn struck late to win it. Hoffenheim fell 1-2 to Bayern, as Dukes opened the scoring before Dabor levelled and Füllkrug's late penalty settled the tie. Min and RB Leipzig drew 1-1, with Ingvarsen scoring on the stroke of half-time before Nkunku's late equaliser. Bayer Leverkusen overpowered Schalke 4-0, Diaby opened the scoring before Frimpong's double and Paulinho sealed it in stoppage time. Augsburg and Wolfsburg shared a 1-1 draw, as Gerhardt opened the scoring before Gummi hit back after the break. Bochum East passed Eintracht Frankfurt 3-0, Hoffmann struck first before an Indika own goal and a stoppage time first finish completed the win. Borussia Dortmund and Bayern Munich finished 2-2, as Goretzka and Sané put the champions 2 up before Moukoko and Matchday rescued a dramatic point. Borussia Gladbach beat Köln 5-2, Friedrich opened before Kinz's penalty briefly levelled, then Bensebaini's spot kick, Stindl, Bensebaini again and Thuram ran away with it, Huschenbasic offering late consolation. Hertha and Freiburg drew 2-2, Kjær gave the visitors the lead before Lukebakio's penalty levelled. Serdar then put Hertha ahead and Schad levelled later in the second half. Stuttgart fell 0-1 to Union Berlin, the contest settled past the hour by Jäkel. Schalke fell 0-3 at home as Skov opened from the spot, Dabur doubled the lead on the stroke of half-time and Skov wrapped it up with a second penalty after the break for Hoffenheim. Wolfsburg and Borussia Gladbach drew 2-2. Thuram struck early for Gladbach, Gerhardt levelled before half, Thuram restored Gladbach's lead early in the second half and Marmoush hauled Wolfsburg back to make it 2-2. Werder Bremen were beaten 0-2, Ingvartsen opened in the first half and Lee Jae-song added a second after the break to give Min the win. Frankfurt overwhelmed Bayer Leverkusen 5-1. Kamada buried a penalty to open the scoring, Hincapie briefly replied for Leverkusen, then Kolo Muani and Lindstrom put Frankfurt back in front before Kamada added another spot kick and Alario completed the rout. Stuttgart powered to a 4-1 win over Bochum as Katompa M. Wumper opened with an early penalty, Ahamada made it 2, Zoller pulled one back, then Katompa M. Wumper struck again and Endo sealed the victory. RB Leipzig edged Hertha Berlin 3-2, Forsberg, Diallo and Orban built a commanding first-half lead, while Lukebakio's penalty and Jovetic's strike after the break narrowed the gap. Köln came from behind to beat Augsburg 3-2, Niederlechner put Augsburg ahead, Tiggs levelled early in the second half, Caligiuri restored the visitors' lead, and Tiggs then struck again to complete the win. Union Berlin defeated Borussia Dortmund 2-0 as Haberer produced a decisive first-half double. Bayern Munich demolished Freiburg 5-0, Gnabry opened the scoring before Choupo-Moting, Sani, Mani and Sabitzer added further goals to complete the rout. Min dismantled Köln 5-0, as Ingvartsen's early penalty set the tone, Kor and Stack added quick-fire goals before Aaron Martin and Onisiwo completed the rout. Freiburg beat Werder Bremen 2-0, with Kubler striking just after the break and Griffo sealing it from the spot. Borussia Dortmund demolished Stuttgart 5-0. Bellingham opened inside 2 minutes, Soule and Reina extended the lead before Bellingham's second and Moukoko wrapped it up. Hoffenheim fell 0-2 at home as Musiala and Choupo-Moting delivered a controlled Bayern Munich victory. Bayer Leverkusen and Wolfsburg drew 2-2. Diaby opened the scoring, and Andrich own goal levelled, Arnold put Wolfsburg ahead from the spot before Frimpong restored parity for Leverkusen. Augsburg and RB Leipzig shared a 3-3 thriller. Berisha's penalty put Augsburg ahead and Demirovic and Vargas made it 3, before Andre Silva, Nkunku and the 90th minute Novoa completed Leipzig's comeback. Borussia Gladbach were beaten 1-3 by Frankfurt. Lindstrom struck early, Ebembe added a second and Lindstrom made it 3 before Thuram's late consolation. Bochum edged Union Berlin 2-1 through Philipp Hoffmann and Holtmann, with Pantovic pulling one back in stoppage time. Hertha Berlin defeated Schalke 2-1. Tuzar broke the deadlock, Molly levelled late on and an 88th minute Kanga secured the win. Werder Bremen edged Hertha Berlin 1-0 as Füllkrug struck an 85th minute winner. Bayern Munich thrashed Min 6-2, with Gnabry, Musiala and Mani striking early. Wiedmer pulled one back at the break before Goretzka and Tell added goals. Ingvartsen replied and Choupo-Moting wrapped it up in the 86th. The match finished 6-2. Wolfsburg swept past Bochum 4-0. Felix Nmecha scored a composed double either side of Baku and Vince strikes to complete the rout. Stuttgart came from behind to beat Augsburg 2-1. Niederlechner had put the visitors ahead before Guirassy levelled and Anton won it at the death. RB Leipzig defeated Bayer Leverkusen 2-0 through Nkunku and Werner. Frankfurt fell 1-2 to Borussia Dortmund. Brandt and Bellingham struck to put Dortmund ahead before Kamada pulled one back. Union Berlin overturned Elvede's opener, as Behrens leveled and Duki's 90th minute winner sealed a 2-1 victory over Borussia Gladbach. Schalke were beaten 0-2 by Freiburg as Grifo produced a decisive double, the second from the penalty spot. Köln and Hoffenheim drew 1-1, Kintz opened the scoring before Brun Larsen leveled. Borussia Gladbach beat Stuttgart 3-1, as Jonas Hoffmann and Thuram put them 2 up before Thiago Tomas pulled one back and Hermann sealed it late. Hertha fell 2-3 to Bayern Munich, as Musiala opened and Choupo-Moting hit a quick-fire double to make it 3-0, before Lukebakio and Zelka pulled 2 back before the break. Min were beaten 0-3 by Wolfsburg, as Wimmer opened the scoring and Arnold and Baku added second-half strikes to wrap up a comfortable away win. Borussia Dortmund swept aside Bochum 3-0, with Moukoko opening, Reina converting a penalty and Moukoko adding a second before half-time. Hoffenheim fell 1-3 to RB Leipzig, as Nkunku opened the scoring before Rutter leveled. Nkunku then restored the lead and Olmo wrapped it up. Augsburg went ahead through Berisha, but Frankfurt turned it around 1-2 thanks to Rode and Nath. Werder edged Schalke 2-1, with Füllkrug reaching 10 before Dukes doubled the lead and Drexler's late reply proved only a consolation. Bayer Leverkusen demolished Union 5-0, Andrich opened after the break before a Diaby double, Haujek and Bakker completed the rout. Freiburg beat Köln 2-0, as Zheng Wu-yong struck first and Gregoritsch, his 5th, sealed the points. Wolfsburg beat Borussia Dortmund 2-0, as Van Dieven struck early and Lucas in Mecha sealed it at the death. Bayern Munich overwhelmed Werder 6-1, as Musiala opened, Jung pulled one back, then Gnabry and Goretzka put Bayern in control before Gnabry completed his hat-trick and Tell added a late 6th. Stuttgart edged Hertha 2-1, as Girassi's early strike was cancelled out by Lukebakio before Mavropanos grabbed a last-gasp winner. Bochum overcame Borussia Gladbach 2-1, as Antwi Ajay and Philipp Hoffmann struck early before players' reply. Köln struck first through Schmitz, but Bayer Leverkusen turned it around 1-2 thanks to Amiri and Diaby. Frankfurt prevailed 4-2 over Hoffenheim, as Kolo Muani and Abimbe put the hosts 3-0 up, Baumgartner and Kabik pulled Hoffenheim back before Lindström restored the 2-goal cushion. RB Leipzig beat Freiburg 3-1, as Siemakan and Nkunku put Leipzig ahead, Kubala pulled one back and a Forsberg penalty sealed the win. Schalke edged Min 1-0 through an early Terod winner. Union and Augsburg drew 2-2, as Becker put Union ahead, Niederlechner equalized, Behrens restored the lead and Niederlechner completed his brace to level it up. Borussia Gladbach beat Borussia Dortmund 4-2, as Jonas Hoffmann struck early, J. Brandt leveled, then Bensebaini and Thuram put Gladbach ahead before Nico Schlotterbeck pulled one back and Kony sealed it after the break. Hertha earned a 2-0 win over Köln, as Kanga's early strike and Richter's second-half finish secured the points. Werder fell 1-2 to RB Leipzig, with Silva striking first, Gross equalizing in the second half and Schlager restoring the visitors' lead. Hoffenheim led through Baumgartner, but Wolfsburg turned it around 1-2 as a Kabik own goal leveled matters before Baku completed the comeback. Bayer Leverkusen beat Stuttgart 2-0, with Diaby opening the scoring and Tar wrapping up the win. Augsburg were edged 0-1 by Bochum, as Antwi Ajay's strike proved the difference. Schalke lost 0-2 to Bayern Munich, with Gnabry and Choupo-Moting on target to make it 6 straight wins for Bayern Munich. Min drew 1-1 with Frankfurt, as Burkhardt opened the scoring before Kolo Muani, reaching 5, leveled in the second half. Freiburg beat Union 4-1, Grifau's hat-trick, including 2 penalties, and Gregoritsch completed a first-half blitz, while Michel converted a late consolation penalty. RB Leipzig drew 1-1 with Bayern Munich, as Choupo-Moting had put the visitors ahead before Halstenberg leveled early in the second half. Wolfsburg thrashed Freiburg 6-0, Wimmer struck inside a minute, Wind added a brace, Gerhardt and Baku followed and Waldschmidt wrapped it up with a stoppage time penalty. Frankfurt eased past Schalke 3-0, Lindström opened the scoring, Borre doubled the lead and Aurelio Buta added a stoppage time third. Stuttgart and Min drew 1-1, Guirassi fired the opener before Ingvartsen leveled from the spot. Bochum beat Hertha 3-1, Hoffmann opened and completed a brace either side of Schlotterbeck's goal, with Serdar pulling one back late on. Union Berlin came from behind to beat Hoffenheim 3-1. Bebu had put Hoffenheim ahead in the first half before Doki scored twice to turn it around and Luerling sealed it at the death. Köln crushed Werder Bremen 7-1, Mainz opened, Tiggs added 2, Skiri and Hussein Basic extended the lead, Füllkrug pulled one back for Bremen, Skiri struck again and a Friedel own goal completed the rout. Borussia Dortmund edged Augsburg 4-3 in a wild game, Bellingham opened, Meyer and then Schlotterbeck traded blows with Demirovic to make it 2-2 at the break, Bino Gittins and Kalina traded late goals before Reina won it. Borussia Gladbach fell 2-3 to Bayer Leverkusen, Bakker, Adli and Amiri put Leverkusen 3-0 before Stindl's late double set up a nervy finish. Schalke was swept aside 1-6 by RB Leipzig, as Silva struck early and Henrichs followed, Silva and Werner added further goals before Kozuki's 56th-minute reply, with Olmo and Paulsen completing the rout. Bayern Munich and Köln drew 1-1, with Skiri striking early before Kimmich rescued Bayern deep in stoppage time. Hertha were hammered 0-5 by Wolfsburg, as Svanberg opened the scoring and Arnold and Wind added goals before Baku and Marmoush finished the job. Hoffenheim and Stuttgart drew 2-2, Kramaric had given Hoffenheim an early lead but Guirassy and Endo turned it around before Kramaric rescued a late point. Min led through Lee Jae-sung, but Borussia Dortmund turned it around 1-2 as Ryerson leveled early and Reina won it at the death. Freiburg and Frankfurt drew 1-1, with Kolo Muani striking before Ginter leveled after the break. Werder Bremen went ahead through Pieper, but Union Berlin hit back as Haberer equalized and Behrens completed the turnaround to win 1-2. Bayer Leverkusen beat Bochum 2-0, with Tapsoba's penalty and Haujek's strike sealing the win. Augsburg edged Borussia Gladbach 1-0 thanks to a late second-half winner from Berisha. After 17 rounds, Bayern Munich sit top of the table, with Union Berlin and RB Leipzig keeping the pressure on in second and third. Borussia Dortmund, Freiburg, and Eintracht Frankfurt are all tightly packed just behind. At the bottom, Stuttgart hover above the danger line, while Bochum, Hertha Berlin, and Schalke occupy the drop zone. Thank you for watching GoalGraph. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe for more season recaps.